What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
To get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby. That looks amazing. Marco's, pizza lovers get it.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Thank you, Marco's, for supporting the .91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
This is the OPS pregame report.
We are live from Spartan Arena at Homestead High School for a midweek contest between the Homestead Spartans and the Mishawaka Marian Knights. Good evening and welcome back to Homestead High School as we are very close to tip-off of today's game. I'm Anthony Gery, joined by color broadcaster Noah Lancz and sideline reporter Karlie Flanagan. And Noah, as the starters are being introduced, let's talk about this Mishawaka Marian team.
This Mishawaka Marian team is a very interesting team. They are led by two juniors, Nevaeh Foster and Micaiah Porter, who make up for 41.5 points per game. That is 2/3 of their scoring. It's really interesting to see the other three starters combine for 10.3 points per game.
It's a very similar dynamic to what Homestead saw last Friday versus Southside. Southside had two very good players. They're two main scorers on the team, but once Homestead was able to figure them out, they really had not much trouble on defense. We'll see if it stays the same tonight. And now we're going to take a look at our keys to the game for both teams. Starting with Homestead, they have to shoot lights out from three and defend lights out from three.
They definitely will. In this one, their shooting this season has been up and down overall on the season from behind the arc. They're shooting 38%. And obviously, you don't want to be giving up a lot of threes.
And for Mishawaka Marian, they have to limit the turnovers on offense. That's something Homestead always likes to take advantage of. And it's not a common strategy, but they have to get Ayanna Patterson in foul trouble.
Well, this Homestead defense has been really good and aggressive getting those turnovers. It leads to a lot of fast break points, so they cannot have a lot of turnovers if you're the Knights. And then obviously, if you can get Patterson in foul trouble, that's going to be huge because you do not have someone that can match up with her.
We've seen teams get Patterson in foul trouble and then force Homestead to struggle. When Patterson's out of the game, it is a completely different Homestead team. And Homestead, same time, same exact type as Saturday. They win the tip-off, but it goes straight to the opposing team. Mishawaka Marian will start on offense.
It's going to be really important here for the Knights to get off to a good start. Homestead is not a first-quarter team. They've struggled the past two games, having really close first quarters, and then they explode the next three quarters, so it's going to be important for the Knights to get off to a good start.
Open three for Nevaeh Foster. Knocks it down. Mishawaka Marian with an early 3-0 lead. Patterson underneath the basket and bodies her way to a 2-point. 1-point game. Very quick offense for both teams.
Marian is going to have a lot of problems with Ayanna Patterson tonight. Their tallest player on the court right now is only 6 feet tall. Ayanna Patterson, 6'3".
Deep three again for Neve Foster. Unbelievable. 6 points for her, 6 points for Mishawaka Marian to start the game.
And all the season, she's 36% from behind the arc, having a really good start for this one.
Allie Stevens with a quick 2 for Homestead, scoring on every single possession so far between the two teams. We'll see if it keeps up. Quiet crowd at Homestead High School tonight. Boys are playing right now at the same time across the city at Blackhawk Christian. Three-pointer, no good, and rebounded by Ayanna Patterson. Patterson, fast break outside to Allie Stevens. No good from 3. Ball on the ground. And Stock throws it off of Neve Foster. Homestead ball.
Great hustle play right there by Molly Stock to get the offensive board. And a lot of times you can win the game by making those hustle plays and getting second chance points.
Homestead staying on offense, down 2 early. You mentioned they aren't much of a first quarter team. Molly Stock with the 3 off the mark and rebounded by the Knights. Kendall Bethel's one of the main seniors on this team. As an easy 2 points for McKay Porter on Ayanna Patterson. Not something we usually see. And the Knights up 4 early.
And Porter is that other player who scored so much for the Knights. She's their tallest player out there, having the tough task of Ayanna Patterson.
And that tough task lost right there as Patterson drives in for 2 points. A lot of offense in this one early.
It is, and the defenses for both teams needs to step up right now. Homestead allowing 2 threes, and that's why Marian has gotten out to this lead.
Patterson on Porter. If both teams stay in man defense, this will be a matchup to watch. Porter dishes it outside to Bethel. She knocks down the corner 3. 11-6.
And the Marian Knights shoot 29% from 3 behind the arc. Coming into this game, what a start, going 3 for 3 here.
Allie Stevens, no good, too strong again. Rebounded by Patterson, and she picks up the foul. This is what Ayanna Patterson is so good at, targeting players on the other teams and picking up the fouls.
And she does it so often, getting those offensive boards. But Homestead is really struggling from behind the arc to start this game. We've talked about it before. They are not a great first quarter team, but Ayanna Patterson is having a really good start to this one.
And the Spartans are going to need it. They're trailing early, not something they like to see, but something they have dealt with a lot throughout the season. That's Shayla Alexander's first foul and the first foul of the night. Second free throw good for Ayanna Patterson, 5 points. Marian back on offense. Neve thought about a 3. Pump fake, drive inside, jump shot blocked by Ayanna Patterson. Fast break, Stock 2-on-1. Thought about shot, free throw line for Maggie Kinsley. It falls. Homestead down by 1.
And that was a really good job by Molly Stock right there. She is the point guard of this team. And a year ago on the fast break, you might have seen her try to force something, but she just slowed it down right there, waited to get more help, and then found Maggie Kinsley. And that's where you see her improving and stepping up into more of a leadership role.
And that's been a big story of this Homestead team all season. Molly Stock growing as a basketball player. Coach Parker relying on her to run the offense. As a wild play almost falls in for Neve Foster. That would have been beautiful if that went into the basket. Homestead, a team that relies on the 3 ball a lot, haven't made many attempts this game as Maggie Kinsley dribbles the ball off of her foot. Marian ball.
And even though Homestead has already scored 10 points in this one, it seems like they have not been able to settle into their offense. A lot of it is going down low to Ayanna Patterson, just getting it to her. That was the first time they tried to run a set play, but it didn't get all the way through.
Homestead, they like to take advantage of the height disadvantages as Neve Foster continues to impress in the first quarter. 8 points for her in just 5 minutes. Ball hit out of bounds off of Peyton Rangel. See, when they have these height mismatches like they do right now, Patterson being 3 inches taller than their next tallest player, they like to go to her a lot.
And a lot of times that comes from getting her to her down low in the post. Teams have tried to double her this year. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't.
That ball tipped out of bounds by Rangel. Again, Homestead will get another possession, but 0 for 5 from 3 to start this game for Homestead.
And it's not too many times that you've seen this season 0 for 5 start from behind the arc. They're definitely going to need to clean it up.
Patterson falls to the ground. She's on the ground, gets it away to Royce. Driving to the hoop, and she's denied. Micaiah Porter with the rejection.
What a huge block right there by Porter. Trying to drive in. Emma Royce was someone who is not too aggressive usually, but has become more and more. But just a huge block and giving some momentum to the Knights.
Bethel, the senior point guard, in charge of running this team for Mishawaka Marian. A 3, no good. Second missed 3 of the day for the away team. Marian in man defense. Deep 3 for Allie Stevens. She knocks it down. That is her range. 5 feet beyond the arc, and she doesn't miss.
And even though Allie Stevens started 0 for 2, she's going to keep on shooting. She's done it all year. She hasn't let a miss try to affect her confidence. She's never scared to shoot it, and she is so good when she's making them.
And there's something about Stevens that just when she gets into a rhythm, she gets into a rhythm and doesn't like to miss the ball. And that's why she never stops shooting. She just keeps looking for the rhythm every single game, even when she's missing.
And when she finds it, she is one of the best players on the court.
Neve Foster with her 10th point of the first quarter, unguardable so far. And Peyton Rangel will pick up her first foul, reaching in for the ball.
Homestead has a problem on their hands right now. Already 10 points for Foster, and not even 7 minutes into this game. Coach Parker needs to figure out a game plan to try to stop her.
Patterson and Stock go to the bench for Homestead. A little bit interesting decision by Coach Parker, taking Ayanna Patterson out of the game. Down by 2. Allie Stevens with the mid-range floater. Puts it in. We are tied with a minute left in the first quarter.
This game so far has been a shootout. Both teams hitting a lot of jump shots, especially Marian. They've already made 3 threes. Then Allie Stevens hitting her last 2 jump shots.
Deep 3, no good. Instead, back on offense. Royce thought about 3. Kinsley did 2. Freem underneath. Can't lay it into the basket. The Knights with an opportunity. Foster outside. 3 knocked down for Megan McCormick. Mishawaka Marian leads by 3.
The Knights have come out firing. McCormick, a 19% three-point shooter, just hit a 3 right there.
Homestead holding for the last shot. 10 seconds left of the eventful first quarter. Kinsley mid-range jumper. She buries it. 4 seconds left. Can Foster have a little bit more magic? No, and that is going to be the end of the first quarter. What a showing by both teams on offense, but at the end of one, Mishawaka Marian leads by 1.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Homestead High School after an eventful first quarter. Very high scoring, not what we're used to. Mishawaka Marian, they lead by 18-17.
And they were hitting all of their shots in that first quarter. Nevaeh Foster was on fire there.
Homestead will get a chance to start on offense. And an offensive foul called away from the ball. Mishawaka Marian on offense. They'll need to try to extend their lead. Homestead is a team that likes to come roaring back. Dribbled off the foot of Maggie Kinsley. And on the floor right now for Homestead, it's the main starters, Maggie Kinsley, Emma Royce, Molly Stock, Ayanna Patterson, and Allie Stevens, and the starters for Mishawaka Marian. Nothing new in the second quarter, as this is a very close game and probably will remain so for a while.
And we started with this same lineup, and then some of those starters came out, but now they're back in for it. Marian is one of the top teams in the state, and they're competing really well with the #1 team in the state.
Nevaeh Foster with a little bit of a heat check air ball from 3. I mean, if I'm her right now, I don't see why not to take the shot. You're hitting everything. With 10 points in the first quarter, Ayanna Patterson finds a wide open Molly Stock. Great court vision, and Homestead has the lead.
And Homestead finally able to run and play in their offense, and it works to perfection. Just what they wanted, and Molly Stock wide open.
Porter outside. Bethel trapped by Stock. Marian's going to have to reset. No look pass 3. No good, and rebounded by Ayanna Patterson. That foul is going to go on Micaiah Porter. Her first foul of the game. She averages 21.6.
And coming into this second quarter here, Marian is going with a zone defense, especially after giving the easy 2 on the man defense.
Micaiah Porter with another block. Stock to inbound. Gets it into Bottoms. Mishawaka Marian in a man defense right now. Switch from zone to man.
And Homestead now with the man defense again, they really need to try to find Ayanna Patterson.
Allie Stevens misses it too far to the right. Now here come the Knights. Drive inside, layup, no good, off the rim. Fight for the rebound, and they get it back. Foster with the pass outside, a thing of beauty. Shayla Alexander knocks down the 2. Marian back on top.
Foster's drawing so much attention with a great first quarter that she gets the easy assist right after.
Ayanna Patterson getting back into the scoring column. Hasn't been there in the last 6 minutes of play. 8 points for her early in this game.
And she started really well, and then the Spartans got away from giving it to her. The Homestead has 6 rebounds, a lot of those coming from Ayanna Patterson.
Porter knocks down a shot. She's up to 4. Leading scorer on this team, just ahead of Nevaeh Foster. Right now, Homestead struggling from beyond the arc, but no reason to go there as Ayanna Patterson cannot miss underneath the basket right now. She's up to 10 points.
And the Spartans need to continue to give it to Ayanna Patterson. She does so much for this team.
Molly Stock with back-to-back swats at the ball. Can't keep it alive to Patterson, and now Mishawaka Marian barely keeping possession.
And so far, the Spartans have not been able to get any steals. The team that generally gets a lot of steals, and that right there, Molly Stock, is one of those players who does. There's only been 1 turnover in this game, and it was by Homestead.
And a very creative play by Nevaeh Foster, and it works. Unbelievable. Now she has 12 points. She is playing like the best player on the court right now.
And that was a very high IQ play by Foster. Just pass it right off of Evie Bottoms' back when there's nobody there.
Right now, Homestead, they dropped to 1 for 9 from beyond the arc. Nothing hitting from deep at the moment. Porter, shot no good. Here comes Stock. Bottoms to Patterson underneath the basket, and the foul on Micaiah Porter. Patterson to the free throw line.
And that was already the second foul on Porter. She's 6 feet tall, and she is the only person who's been able to match up with Patterson so far. Patterson has still had a lot of dominance in this one, but that is going to be a real problem for the Knights.
And Mishawaka Marian forced to take a timeout to figure something out.
And a lot of times in this season, we've seen timeouts called earlier, especially with teams against Homestead, but you see Homestead's really just struggling 1 for 9 from behind the arc. We have not seen that too often this season. They are really struggling.
And this is very odd for Homestead. They are usually a very good three-point shooting team, 38%, which has dropped over the last few games. This is not odd when you look at the last 3 games, just only when you look at the season as a whole. Homestead, they go in shooting droughts, it feels like. They have a game where they can't miss, like they did against North Central when they shot 53% from 3. And then a game like today, just a few games later, where right now, partway through the second quarter, they're 1 for 9.
And a lot of that is Molly Stock and Allie Stevens. They are the 2 main shooters of this team. In that North Central game, they both had career highs. Stevens with 26, Stock with 20, but right now both are struggling from behind the arc. Allie Stevens is the only one who's been able to make a 3 in this game.
Another thing Homestead has started doing in the last few games is Coach Parker's been getting very experimental. Right now, Claire Landrigan and Evie Bottoms in the game. In the first 15 games of the season, it feels like you would have almost never seen that out of Coach Parker. But last game and this game today, you've seen Parker really dip into the depth of his bench. And Molly Stock called for the foul on the trap. Fans not happy on the Homestead side.
Not at all. And very strange lineup. As you were talking about, 4 guards are out there for the Spartans, but this is a smaller Marian team, so that may be why Coach Parker is trying to do so. And with these guards, he's going into zone and trap, and you just saw them pressing a second ago, almost able to get that trap to work. But so far, this team has been struggling a lot on the defensive side, just trying to change things up.
Right now, like you just said, Homestead running a trap defense. You can see it right now with a 4-guard setup, not letting Mishawaka Marian get any good threes. They're even using Ayanna Patterson. Foster drive to the basket. It's a no. Stock, fast break. She's got the one-on-one and draws the contact and the foul.
Molly Stock is the best free throw shooter with the Spartans this season. She's shooting 94%, 17 for 18 on the season, missing her first one a game ago. Evie Bottoms has the best percentage, but she hasn't had as many attempts.
Free throw knocked down for Molly Stock. She missed her only free throw last game and misses another free throw. It's the announcer's jinx. Three-pointer, no good. Air ball, rebound by Patterson. She's going to try to turn it into a fast break and gets it stolen away. Fast break going the other end for Mishawaka Marian, and no good. Rebounded by Patterson. Stolen away, and Foster knocks it in. What a chaotic series of events, but it ends up in a Mishawaka Marian 2. Stock finally buries a three for Homestead. She's 1 for 4 on the night. Homestead is now 2 for 10.
And one of the first real open looks that Homestead has been able to get. Molly Stock cashes in on right there. She's been so good from behind the arc. If she just gets those open looks, she'll knock them down.
And now the defense is here. We talked about the odd lineups earlier. Well, it's staying the same for Homestead. Mishawaka Marian hasn't really changed things up a lot. They're keeping their star players in the game, relying on them as much as they can. Very close game. Homestead only leads by 2. 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Pass unclean from Landergan to Evie Bottoms. And it's a turnover for Homestead.
And right there, a lot of passing from outside of the arc, unable to find a good place to go. But you need to try to get it down low to Patterson. She's been so good in this game, already at 11 points. She's scored every single time she's gotten it down low. So you just need to keep on feeding her.
And you saw the Homestead players walking back very slowly on defense. They look a little bit exhausted. And now they got a substitution. Allie Stevens and Maggie Kinsley are back into the game for Evie Bottoms and Claire Landergan. A little bit interesting. Homestead staying in a zone defense, getting a lucky break with a missed shot. Patterson, Royce, Stock, triangle, passing. No good, almost knocks it down. And that's going to stick with Homestead.
And those are the looks that you want to have, especially in close games. A great shooter getting a great look and just a really unlucky bounce.
Homestead, they like to do that triangle passing style where you have Patterson underneath, dishes it out to the corner, and then whoever's in the corner dishes it to the wing for the open three as Allie Stevens is getting back on track. Homestead with another three.
And if Homestead can start hitting their threes, hitting their shots, it's going to become a real problem for the Knights. The Knights came out firing but haven't been able to make a shot in a while.
Deep three, no good. And it feels like Homestead has started to find their answer for Nevaeh Foster. And she has gone on a cold streak over the last couple of minutes. 50 seconds left in the half. Pass from Royce to Patterson, too high.
There's been a lot of that today, a lot of unclean passes, trying to get it down low to Patterson, but she's just been so good so far that you like to try to force it down low to her.
Right now, 2 Spartans in double digits. Ayanna Patterson with 11, Allie Stevens with 10. Foster trapped on the sideline and throws it out of bounds off of Allie Stevens. Another high IQ play for her. Mishawaka Marian down by 2. They'd like to cut into that lead before half, likely holding out for the last shot as there's no shot clock in the state of Indiana basketball.
And if you can go into half with a close game, you're going to love it.
Well, might not happen now as Molly Stock with this takeaway. She couldn't make the layup. Homestead with possession, and it's stolen away. Going back the other end. Patterson thought about block and does get it. Mayhem and the foul picked up for Kendall Bethel. Another series of chaos and turnovers. Those two series have accounted for all of the turnovers except for one in this game. Only 5 between the two teams. 3 inside. Foster with the 3 at the half. No good. And that is the end of 2 quarters. Homestead leads by 5 at the end of the first half.
And a really good start in that second quarter for Homestead. They struggled in the first, but finding a way to come back.
And we're going to send it down to sideline reporter Karlie Flanagan, who's standing by with Coach Rod Parker. Karlie?
Thanks, Anthony. And Coach, Nevaeh has had some fire-scoring points in the first half. What do you plan to do in the second half to stop her?
Hopefully get a hand in her face. We gave her some easy looks in that first quarter, and she got off to a hot start. So we slowed her up a little bit in the second. We're going to have to make sure we keep her out of her rhythm in the second half so she doesn't have a big game.
All right, thank you and good luck. Anthony, back to you.
Thank you, Karlie. And Coach Parker said best. You got to get a hand in her face. You can't let her get any open looks. So at the end of one half, Homestead with a 5-point lead. Stay tuned as this one could get pretty good.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
I can't wait to get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby, that looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the .91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Touchdown, Homestead! Three dribbles in, mid-range jumper up. He got it! Zach Kruger hit the shot.
This is the OPS Halftime Report.
Welcome back to Homestead High School on a quiet Tuesday night. There are not a lot of fans in the stands, which is too bad because so far this is a pretty good game.
It has been a very good game. The Marian Knights came out firing in this one to start, and then Homestead starting to find their rhythm, find their shots, and answering back in that second quarter, getting them out to a 5-point lead.
And we're going to take a look at our real-time stats from the first half. Good from the field for both teams. 46% for Homestead, 42% for Mishawaka Marian. It's the 3-point game. That was a little bit surprising.
It really has been. Mishawaka Marian has been struggling all season, shooting 29% from 3, but the Spartans have been 38% from 3. They were 1 for 9 at one point. They've hit their 2 of their last 3, but the Marian Knights were 3 of 4 to start. Now they've gone 1 for their last 9. It's been a tale of 2 quarters so far.
It really has been. But the thing is that the score doesn't tell the story. Mishawaka Marian was shooting the ball so much better in the first quarter as compared to the second, vice versa for Homestead. But the scoring stayed the same. It was pretty consistent throughout.
It really has been. And those free throws have been very one-sided for Homestead so far. 4 of 6. Not a great percentage, but they made 4 more free throws than Marian so far, and they've got a 5-point lead, so definitely impacting this one.
And another little bit of a surprise has been the turnovers. There haven't been very many besides 2 crazy possessions that we pointed out, one partway through the second quarter and one to end the second quarter. There really haven't been turnovers.
In a game ago, Micaiah Porter and Nevaeh Foster combined for 18 steals in just one game. This one, there's only been 3 turnovers by the Spartans, 2 by Marian. Both teams playing really clean so far. Marian averages 11.5. Homestead averages 12.9. So no team is getting a big advantage there. But where the team that is leading is getting the advantage is from the rebounds, out-rebounding the Marian Knights by more than triple what they have so far.
And the rebounding is where you win games. The free throw line and underneath the basket, that is where you win basketball games. Overall, really good first half for both teams and pretty exciting going into the second half.
It definitely has been a really exciting first half and potentially could be leading us to a great finish in this one.
Yeah, and we're going to take a break here on the halftime show, and when we come back, we'll discuss the first half a little bit more and get ready for the second half of play.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
I can't wait to get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness. I can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby, that looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the .91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Welcome back to Homestead High School as we are just a minute away from the start of the second half. 5-point lead for Homestead, and now you see both teams practicing their shooting right now. Both teams practicing threes. Those will be essential heading down the stretch.
And they very well could decide this game. Whoever can make more threes. Nevaeh Foster had a really good start. She was slowed down. You heard Coach Parker talk about finding a way to slow her down even more. In that second quarter, she really struggled to find her shot, not able to hit 2 threes in the last minute there. She had 2 great looks at it. But on the other side, Homestead starting to hit their attempts. Allie Stevens, Molly Stock, both getting late threes to go, helping Homestead to get out to this lead.
And as we are here commentating the girls basketball game, Homestead versus Mishawaka Marian, across the city, the boys team is playing at this very moment. It's Homestead versus Black Hawk Christian. The last 2 times these teams played, there were a lot of eyes at that game, and tonight it's no different. Lots of scouts will be there tonight. It's a pretty big game, I'd say, in Fort Wayne.
They're much different rosters this year, especially no Luke Goody for Homestead, no Caleb First or Zane Berkey for the Blackhawk Christian team there.
And as of right now, in the second quarter, Homestead leads 24-20. We'll keep you updated every now and then on that score. But now it's time for the start of the second half. Mishawaka Marian will start with the basketball down by 5. Foster with the ball. She was electric in the first half. Her counterpart a little bit more quiet in the scoring end.
Homestead has done a really good job of stopping Porter, who has the ball in this game so far. Only 4 points, and she's averaging 21.6. But if she can find her rhythm and start hitting some threes, it could be a problem for Homestead.
It's going to come down to the 3 ball, like we said. It's an offensive board. It's collected for Mishawaka Marian. A little floater and foul. Nevaeh Foster forces the contact, and she's going to head to the free throw line.
She's done a really good job driving and hitting jump shots there. Driving, not kicking it out or anything, where she's gotten a few assists from, but maybe she can find her rhythm again at the free throw line.
First free throw good, cuts the lead down to 4. A little slow start on the offensive end for the night after a very, very quick first half.
And this quarter is going to be very important for how this game goes. Homestead is more of a second half team than a first half team, especially recently. In a game last Friday against Southside, they just were electric in that second half, getting a huge win after a very slow first half.
Went on a 22-3 run in the third quarter. Pretty hard to beat a team when they go on that kind of run. Allie Stevens with the moon shot, no good. Rebounded by Micaiah Porter. Porter drives inside, puts up the shot, no good. It's short, rebounded by Royst. Emma Royst stutters a little bit. She's a player that isn't really involved much on the scoring end, but involved pretty much everywhere else. And on Patterson, ISO underneath the basket. And scores again. If Homestead can keep getting in those situations, they will be tough to beat.
And in that second quarter, Ayanna Patterson kind of cooled down a little bit after a great first quarter. The Knights were bringing more double teams, and they need to continue to do that, force Homestead to hit their shots.
They've got to get somebody in the passing lane. That ball tipped out of bounds and blocked by Homestead. Ball will stay with the Knights. They have to get in the passing lane to Ayanna Patterson because she has so much size compared to this roster that you can't beat her even when you're double guarding her, or else she'll just pick up a foul.
And that's a real problem for Marian. They don't have anyone to match up with her, and that's where they've been struggling.
Beautiful shot by Nevaeh Foster, and she is up to 18 points, single-handedly keeping Mishawaka Marian in this basketball game.
She really is doing it all by herself, leading all scorers so far.
Patterson takes advantage of the play breakup. And they're going to call a foul on Micaiah Porter. Her third foul of the game. Now a little bit of foul trouble being involved after a relatively clean first half.
And after she picked up her second, we saw Marian call a timeout early on. She cannot afford to pick up another one.
Beautiful step move by Patterson. She's up to 15 points.
And Patterson knows that Porter cannot pick up another foul, so she's going to attack as much as she can because Porter is going to have to be very cautious.
Patterson with no fouls. Probably going to get, like you said, very aggressive as Nevaeh Foster knocks down another shot. 21 points. Patterson grabs the pass, and it's stolen away by guess who? Foster. She's going to look for a chance to score and will get called for the travel. Finally, something to slow her down.
And she stopped herself because Homestead is not going to be able to. At least they don't look like they have an answer so far. She stopped herself, but something to note, Porter is now coming out of the game for one of the taller players, but a 5'10 player if they go to man-to-man.
Kinsley, shot no good, and she is fouled hard underneath the basket. That foul going to be called on Shayla Alexander, her second foul.
Maggie Kinsley has become more and more aggressive as the season has gone on, seeing herself at the line a lot, a place where she has improved, especially after struggling early on in the season.
Kinsley with 5 points. And the free throw gives her 6. Homestead leads by 4. Now the question for Mishawaka Marian is, how can we get Foster involved on offense? She is at 21 points of the team's 33.
And recently in a Southside game, Homestead had everything going their way other than Olivia Smith, the one player who was on fire for Southside. Homestead was able to pull out of that one, and this game is very similar, one player doing it all for Marian. But if Marian wants to win, they have to have other players step up.
Second attempt at second chance points, and it's stolen away by Stock. The Spartans get a break on defense. 3 for Allie Stevens. Swish! Allie Stevens has found her stride. 3 for 7 from beyond the arc after starting 1 for 4.
And it's been her and Patterson this game, 13 points now for Stevens. And that is another 3 for her. She can continue to hit those. This lead is only going to grow.
Deep 3 knocked down for Kendall Bethel. And a timeout called.
And Kendall Bethel is stepping up, but just needs more help. It's really shocking. She's averaging 8.6 points per game this season, 35% from behind the arc. She's got 6, the second leading scorer so far for the Knights.
And she might be the first leading scorer after this game, because right now Nevaeh Foster with 21 points compared to her counterpart Micaiah Porter's 4.
Micaiah Porter is really struggling, but most people have when they've been going against Ayanna Patterson. She's so dominant on both sides of the floor, getting a bunch of blocks and just being intimidating overall.
And that has been Porter's task tonight, guarding Ayanna Patterson. That's why she's in foul trouble, because Ayanna Patterson gets the people guarding her into foul trouble. That's just what she does. Free throw line, jump shot, good for Patterson. Knocks it down. She's up to 17 points with 6 rebounds.
And going back to the zone for the Knights, Spartans right away able to find the weak spot in the zone, and Patterson able to hit a nice shot.
Porter left the 3 ball short. Homestead with a 6-point lead. Bottoms wide open underneath the basket. Great court vision by Maggie Kinsley. And the Spartans extend their lead.
And you see Homestead's only hit 3 more shots in this game, and they haven't even hit as many threes as Marian, but free throws and just hitting those more shots have really helped them get this lead.
Rebound for Ayanna Patterson. She gets it stolen away. Stock recovers. Hesitation, takes the 3, no good, and rebounded by McCormick. Mishawaka Marian staying in this game. Porter, jump shot underneath the basket. Can't knock it down. Stuck in transition. Fakes the pass. Stevens with the drive to the basket. No good. Rebounded and collected by Patterson. The putback, no good. Stevens with the putback gets fouled.
Spartans do so well at getting those offensive boards and second and third chance points right there. Usually it's Ayanna Patterson, but recently Allie Stevens has been getting her name on those offensive rebounds more and more, becoming more aggressive and playing in the paint.
It was only her first rebound of the game, but like you said, in the past 4 or 5 games, Allie Stevens has done a great job rebounding the basketball, especially against North Central in the absence of Ayanna Patterson.
And on the season, she's averaging 4.4 rebounds per game, the third most. Earlier in the season, that number was closer to 3, but it just shows you that she's been hustling more. And I think a turnaround point for her this season was the Carroll game. She didn't get as much playing time as she would have liked, but ever since then, she's been doing the little things like diving for balls, being really aggressive.
Homestead with their lead up to 10. An update from the boys game at halftime. Homestead leads 27-22 over Blackhawk Christian. Vea Foster in the corner, trapped by Bottoms, tries to throw it out of bounds off of her, recovered by Bottoms, and a jump ball call. That possession arrow is pointing in the Spartans' favor.
And Bottoms, another one of those players who's really aggressive, making those little plays, and that was a great job by Evie Bottoms right there. She recently got her first start.
Allie Stevens airballs a deep 3, and it's out of bounds off of Emma Royst. See Homestead starting to run away with this game a little bit. Marian, they've got to find something going on the offensive end. Only 10 points in the third quarter. Deep 3 for Porter, in and out. Offensive board, and the play stays alive. Great job by Alexander. Porter gets fouled. And that foul is going to be called on Ayanna Patterson, her first foul of the game.
And something that the Knights have not been able to do is get Patterson in foul trouble. She's been so dominant in this game. She has 17 points, the most for Homestead. Allie Stevens has been having a good game too, but when Patterson isn't on the court, this team just isn't the same.
Patterson comes out of the game with her first foul. Coach Parker not wanting to mess around at all. Deep 3 taken by McCormick, no good. Offensive board, rebounded by Foster. Foster in the corner, guarded by Evie Bottoms, 14 on 14. Alexander tries to drive to the basket. And the referees are going to call a jump ball, an interesting call. It looked like the ball was out of bounds, but possession arrow stays with Mishawaka Marian.
And this is going to be a really important last 40 seconds to the quarter for the Knights. They need to find something on offense.
Jump shot, no good for Porter. And Royce collects it. Fast break. Stevens steps back. Shot, no good, and rebounded by Nevaeh Porter. Ball on the ground. And a foul called on Maggie Kinsley. Ever since Ayanna Patterson came out of the game, nothing has been going the Spartans' way.
They haven't really been able to get the ball on the defensive side, giving a few extra chances to the Knights, and that's something that you don't see often when Patterson is in the game. She gets so many boards and very rarely allows people to get second chances.
10 seconds left in the third quarter. Homestead leads by 10. Pass underneath the basket, layup, and one. Shayla Alexander underneath the basket, and she's going to head for the free throw line for the point after.
And that was a huge basket right there by Alexander. If she can cut this lead down to 7 going into the fourth quarter, Marian has to feel like they're in striking distance.
5 seconds left in the third quarter. Assuming Shayla Alexander makes this free throw, which you can't really assume it. She's a 45% free throw shooter. See if Coach Parker gives the ball to Patterson, his strongest arm on the team, to try to heave up a final shot. Kinsley needs to inbound it. Gets it into Bottoms. Over to Royce for three to end the quarter. No good, and that is the end of 24 minutes in this basketball game. Homestead leads 46-39. That's a 7-point lead heading into the fourth quarter.
Ooh, I can't wait to get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness. I can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby, that looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Welcome back to Homestead High School as we enter into the fourth quarter. Homestead leads by 7 points. This game is tight, and at this point, it is really anyone's game.
Mishawaka Marian.
Homestead to start on offense. Full starters back into the game, almost everybody. But Evie Bottoms is a starter, as a steal by Porter, and she lays it up and in. 5-point lead for Homestead. This game could really come down to the wire.
Porter finally able to find her shot again. She's at 6 points, but for a player averaging 21.6, that is not good.
Patterson stuck on the baseline. She's going to drive into deep traffic and knock it down for her 19th point of the game.
Patterson has been so dominant in this game. She's hit a lot of tough shots like that. She hasn't gone to the foul line too much like she usually does and hasn't been able to draw a lot of fouls.
Steal by Patterson. She's one-on-one and lays it up and in. Homestead's lead extends to 9 points.
Patterson showing more of what she can do, getting a great steal. And just like that, feels like all of the momentum has shifted right over to the Spartans.
It's plays like those that makes Ayanna Patterson so special. She's not just a player underneath the basket. She can also make steals and go on fast breaks. Ball on the ground. Maggie Kinsley with it, and that is going to be a jump ball pointing in the favor of Mishawaka Marian. Check out this replay. Patterson just with the steal and the easy layup. Nobody in her territory.
Those are the two easiest points of Patterson's night right there. Already at 21, and she's tied Foster for the most in this game. Foster has been relatively quiet recently.
Foster has to start getting something. Get Mishawaka Marian back in the game. Get some energy on the sideline. Spin move back, fade away. Beautiful by Shayla Alexander. Lead cut down to 7.
And Shayla Alexander is having a really good game. 7 points. She only averages 3.8.
Emma Royce with her gamely 3. Doesn't make it. Patterson drives in. And they're going to call a foul on the floor.
And there is the Ayanna Patterson that we know and see all the time, driving and drawing fouls. That time she's not going to go to the line, but still getting Alexander into foul trouble now. And 2 of the taller players for the Knights are in foul trouble.
And getting the board off of Emma Royce's missed 3. Maggie Kinsley drives to the basket, unable to pick up a foul. And it goes out of bounds off of Mishawaka Marian.
Foster looks a little shaken up after that play. Don't know what happened there. She might have got hit in the face.
She's holding her face right now, brushing her nose. will stay in the game. It looks like she might have blood on her face, meaning she has to come out of the game, and in comes Megan McCormick.
We've seen this a few times this year, a player coming out for blood. And a lot of times it's been the star player, Marian. That is a huge loss for them. Players are really going to have to step up if they want to keep it close while she's not in.
Royce pass to Patterson, tipped, and Patterson keeps it alive, but turns it over. Micaiah Porter, 2-on-1, lays it up and in. When one starter goes down, the other has to step up, and Micaiah Porter just did a fantastic job.
And stepping up right when she needs to, getting 4 quick points.
Evie Bottoms with the open three, no good. And Emma Royce called with the rebounding foul. Look at this play by Micaiah Porter through 2 defenders and lays it up and in the face of Maggie Kinsley.
And Marian could very easily make a run if Porter can continue that play and get on a run by herself. Foster coming back in. If those two can be playing well on the offensive side at the same time, they could really come back in this one.
Pass to the outside. Only down by 5, but stolen away by Royce. The foul did not shake her at all. And Molly Stock called for the travel. She looked like she thought about shooting the 3 and then thought about passing a little bit too late. Another turnover for the Spartans in a close game.
Very indecisive right there, and that's what led to the turnover, the 8th for Homestead in this one. Marian at 5, both relatively low compared to what these two teams are usually seeing.
And right now, this is not the time for Homestead to be losing their lead because Nevaeh Foster is back in the ball game. Ball tipped out of bounds by Maggie Kinsley. Stays with the Knights.
But with Foster in, Allie Stevens also came in for Homestead, and she's been the second leading scorer for Homestead. She was on the bench there for a while, but if she can continue, she's going to do well.
Deep 3 for Kendall Bethel, and the lead is cut down to 2. Number 3 in the AP for the class of 3A as Ayanna Patterson uses the glass for her 23rd point.
Patterson getting right back to it, and it feels like it's been a while since Patterson got the ball down low, but every time she has, she's scored.
Mishawaka Marian down by 4. They're ranked 29th in the Sagarin ratings amongst all schools in Indiana. Emma Royce misses the open 3. Ball on the ground, and another foul is going to be called on Molly Stock in this quarter.
Something that Homestead has done well in this game is not getting in foul trouble. Players only at 2, but right now they're at 6 fouls in this half. It could be a problem if Marian is going to the line.
And news from the Homestead versus Black Hawk Christian basketball game. Fletcher Lawyer, Homestead's star player, Purdue commit, has hit his 1,000th point as a Homestead Spartan. Back to this game, Molly Stock gets fouled and will head to the free throw line.
Great job by Homestead to run in the fast break and try to get those easy points right there. Molly Stock, a great free throw shooter also. Coach Parker's got to love to see her going to the line.
Up until last game, she hadn't missed any free throws. Since then, she has missed 2, one earlier in this ball game. Fletcher Lawyer getting his 1,000th point at Blackhawk Christian. That's 1,000th point as a Homestead Spartan. Really incredible to see what he has done with this high school and this program as Molly Stock knocks down her second free throw.
And this lead now back up to 6 for Homestead. A 4-0 run. It's not much, but it got down to a 2-point game, and it looked like the Knights could very well take the lead.
And it looks like right now with the way they're shooting the basketball, they could take it back. 3-point lead for the Spartans. Only 3:29 left to play in this ball game.
And just like that, they go back to the zone play.
Ayanna Patterson. What hasn't she done underneath the basket this game? 25 points.
It doesn't matter what defense you throw at Ayanna Patterson, she's going to get her points. She does it every single time.
Marian, they need somebody to step up. Fade away, Micaiah Porter. 3 minutes left in this game, 3-point game. Stock in the corner. Ball out of Stevens' hands, on the ground, recovered by Mishawaka Marian. Porter outside to Bethel for three, no good, and Allie Stevens with the rebound for Homestead. Huge break for the Spartans. Patterson underneath the basket. There's a hand in there. And a jump ball is forced by none other than Nevaeh Foster.
She's really starting to step up in this one. Her and Micaiah Porter, they're playing really well coming down the stretch in this one.
Molly Stock inbounds it to Stevens, trying to protect their 3-point lead in the late window. Maggie Kinsley fouled, and that is a huge foul for Homestead. That is Micaiah Porter's 4th foul of the game.
And she has been mainly matched up with Ayanna Patterson. If she comes out of this one, it's going to be a real problem, and it's going to probably go to a lot of zone play by the Knights.
Free throw good for Maggie Kinsley. Her total up to 7 points tonight, having a pretty good game. The foul trouble in this game right now is Porter with 4 fouls and Shayla Alexander with 3, both for Mishawaka Marian. Homestead's lead back up to 5. Porter staying in the game for Mishawaka Marian. 3 for Alexander, no good. Board by Patterson. And it looks like the foul is going to go on Peyton Rangel in Homestead's favor. That is her 3rd foul, so now she's in a little bit of foul trouble with 2 minutes left.
And that's the 7th for the Knights, so now Homestead will be in the bonus. The next foul that Homestead commits, the Knights will be in the bonus as well, so there are going to be a lot of free throws coming down the stretch.
Patterson, free throw, no good. And now a huge opportunity for the Knights. Porter, pass unclean to Shayla Alexander, right through her hands. And another break for the Spartans. 2:01 left in the 4th quarter. Can the number 1 team in all major polls in the state of Indiana hold on? Kickball called. Homestead will keep possession.
It'll be interesting to see how Marian approaches this team. You see them now bringing a press, something that Homestead has really struggled with this year.
It took them a while to figure it out, but here comes the press. Stock trapped in trouble, picks up her dribble, and keeps the play alive. Stevens had the 3, didn't take it. Stock drives to the basket. The left-handed hook shot from Molly Stock give the Spartans a 3-possession lead. Foster drives to the basket, lays it up and in. The lead cut down to 5, 1:30 left. And now, here comes the test. Will the Spartans try to hold and run out the clock? The pass to Bottoms is on the ground and out of bounds. Mishawaka Marian with a chance to cut this lead down to 2 or 3.
And what a crucial mistake right there by the Spartans. They cannot allow any easy turnovers like that and just give the ball away for free.
Mishawaka Marian calls a 30-second timeout to regroup, catch their breath, probably talk about what they're going to do, fouling. And now we're going to take a look at our real-time stats. A tight one right here, 5-point game. 3-point shooting hasn't been on for really either team tonight, though.
It really hasn't been. Homestead has only got worse, only hitting 1 more 3. They've gone 1 of 7 in the second half. Marian improving. They've gone 4 of 10 in the second half. So they've been able to use the 3-pointer to their advantage and stay in this one. The rebounds getting a little bit better for Marian, but still losing overall in the category.
Mishawaka Marian, they're going to need some turnovers. They're going to need some rebounds. Starters in the lineup for both squads. We are down to the final 81 seconds of basketball play. Inbound clean to Foster. What can she do? What can't she do? No travel called. The arena erupting. Possession stays alive, and a foul on the floor. 70 seconds left in the ballgame. Foul on Maggie Kinsley, her third foul.
These are two crucial free throws right here. If Porter can cut this down to a one-possession game with a little over a minute, the game could really go either way. And free throws are just going to be so important for both teams coming down the stretch.
First free throw, no good. Mishawaka Marian is now in the bonus, so all fouls on the floor will head to a 1-and-1. Second free throw, no good. Homestead keeps their 5-point lead off 2 missed free throws. Mishawaka Marian's going to have to start fouling. And there's the foul. Micaiah Porter's 5th foul of the game. She is now disqualified. And Homestead, with their best free throw shooter, being sent to the line.
And exactly who they want going to the line. Molly Stock, 94% on the season. That is going to drop after this game with missing a free throw earlier. But she's been making clutch free throws all season. Porter now out of this may be even more important than Stock going to the line. But if Stock can make both these, get us a 7-point lead, 3-possession game, it very well could be over.
Stock makes the first free throw. Next free throw will send this to a 3-possession ball game. Knocks it down. Mishawaka Marian might need a miracle and a timeout taken by Coach Parker to go over plans on how to not turn over the basketball.
And Marian needs these threes to hit now more than ever, especially down 7, a little over a minute. 5 seconds ago of game time, it was a 5-point game. Porter was at the line, able to knock it down to a 3-point deficit. She misses both. Then right away, Molly Stock makes her 2 free throws, and this game is very different. If Porter made those 2, a 3-point game would have been a lot different scenario.
And it really comes down to what we've said in every game all season long. The game comes down to rebounding the ball and making your free throws. And right there, Porter missing 2 free throws. It's not what you want if you're Mishawaka Marian. The lead now to 7 by Homestead, but great game played by both of these teams so far. Really exciting one for a Tuesday night.
It really has been 2 great teams, and the Knights need to have a really good possession right here. They have to score quick and then foul quick. You'd likely try not to foul Molly Stock, though. The team overall, the Spartans, that is 74% from the line, so a lot of good free throw shooters, and Marian's just going to hope for misses.
And right now, Allie Stevens, the worst free throw shooter of the starters, is taken out of the game for Evie Bottoms, someone who has not missed a free throw yet this year. Marian, they need quick points. Deep 3 taken, no good, and rebounded by Royst. She's going to have to get fouled. Ball staying alive. Stock, Royst to Bottoms, keeping the play alive. Clock just keeps getting run down at the logo. And now in the corner, finally a foul. But so much clock has been taken off the scoreboard.
And it's very strange to see Marian let so much clock come off. They probably had 15 to 20 seconds that they could have saved right there. Obviously, you don't want to foul Molly Stock, and it looked like they were just going to try to find who else would get the ball, and they wouldn't foul anyone else. It didn't even look like Foster wanted to foul anyone after that.
First free throw missed for Maggie Kinsley. It's not over yet. There have been crazier things happen. They need a shot. 3 taken and no good. Rebounded by Kinsley. And she'll get fouled. 17.6 seconds left, and it looks like the Homestead Spartans are going to hang on to that number 1 spot.
This one is likely over after that. 1 minute and 5 seconds, a 7-point deficit. Marian, great look at 3 in the quarter for Kendall Bethel. She wasn't able to knock it down. And then on the other side, they just let way too much time come off the clock.
Free throw good for Maggie Kinsley. Spartans lead up to 8. What a great game by Kinsley. 9 points. She makes this free throw. She would have been the 4th Homestead player into double digits. 13 seconds left. At this point, any scoring seems pretty redundant. Layup, no good. Rebounded by Kinsley. And that is going to be the ball game. The Homestead Spartans hang on to an 8-point lead, knocking off Mishawaka Marian 63-55.
And it was one of the tougher games for the Spartans, but another great win against a quality team, a good test, especially when you're getting very close to postseason play.
And Mishawaka Marian, they're ranked 13th in the coaches poll, 29th in the Sagarin range. Certainly no slouch of a team, and they showed it tonight with their elite play. Now we're going to send it down to sideline reporter Karlie Flanagan, who's standing by with the player of the game, Ayanna Patterson.
Thanks, Anthony. And Ayanna, the team struggled for a bit with the arc, but you were able to score at will down low. How do you find a way to step up when the team is struggling?
It's always just being confident in my position as a senior. My teammates have faith in me, so I just have to slow the tempo down and let them know that they're okay out there. And get them assists and let them knock down easy buckets.
And the team is now ranked number 1 in all major polls. How does this impact your team's goals going down the stretch?
Oh, that just lets us know that we have a target on our back going further on into the state tournament and the rest of our games. So teams are going to give us our best shot, and we just have to look forward to it.
And last question, with the huge SAC game on Friday against Snyder, what do you all look up to beat another top 10 team?
Of course, with us losing to Snyder last year, this is a big SAC game for us, just going out and playing confident and strong and solidify ourselves as the SAC champions.
All right, and good luck at your next games. Anthony, back to you.
Thank you, Karlie. And that SAC game Friday, we didn't really mention it much today, but that will be a huge game that we've been waiting for all year long.
We have been. We've had it marked on our calendars, and it could very well decide the SAC for both boys and girls. It's going to be 2 great games, some great teams playing.
And last year, after dominating the SAC, the last couple of years of dominating the SAC, Homestead lost 2 games last year in the regular season, 1 to Carroll and 1 to Snyder, to have them end up finishing 2nd place in the SAC. And you know this team is hungry to get that title back.
And a lot of redemption for Homestead this year. They've lost to some teams that they beat this year. You heard Ayanna Patterson say it in the first game when they beat Carmel by 32, that it was just redemption. Try to get some redemption on Snyder and bring home the SAC title again.
And that will be the game of the year. And with that, we're going to close out today's live stream. Thank you for watching the first game of the week. Another game yet to come this Friday versus Snyder. The final score, 63-55. On behalf of the Homestead Live crew, including color commentator Noah Lancz and silent reporter Karlie Flanagan, I'm Anthony Gery saying goodbye for now. But don't forget, Friday will feature the second most look forward to game this year. Make sure you are tuned in.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.